Now on the APEC VIP hotline, cutting-edge training for the serious athlete, apecgo.com. Joining us right now from APEC himself, the man behind APEC, and behind a lot of really successful athletes, it's Bobby Stroupe. How you doing, Bobby?
Man, I'm doing great. Nice to hear from you guys.
Good to talk to you. I know that tomorrow you got the big recruiting seminar, so tell everybody about what's going to be taking place tomorrow at APEC.
Tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m., a representative from Texas Football Magazine and Fox Sports Network and Randy Rogers is going to be here giving the athletes of East Texas free recruiting advice. And what he's also going to do is he's going to take their picture for Dave Campbell's magazine and take information for links to their highlight films and above just evaluating these kids and getting them out nationally so they can get the attention they deserve. He's going to give these kids the opportunity to put the recruiting process in their hands. And as you know, these football coaches, they've got a full boat. And, sometimes it's assumed that they can go get these kids scholarships, and that's just not a fair assumption to them. And these high school kids, they can do a lot of the things and take the necessary steps to get them in position to be recruited at the junior college, Division III, Division II, or Division I level. Okay, so what classification, what age group kid needs to be really mindful about showing up for this thing tomorrow? We think freshmen through juniors, and the reason is because there's so many steps that you have to take to put yourself in position. If you wait till your junior year, you're certainly in danger of having already missed the boat, if you will. Okay, I mean, now, and we can say, though, safely that if you're a great player, you're not going to miss the boat, but it's for these guys who maybe are borderline or late bloomers, things like that, that this thing really benefits the most, right? It's true that absolutely it's information. A lot of people don't know the limitations on Division IIs for scholarships. For instance, some of them have 36, some of them have 25, and then Division III format in the junior college. However, this is a great thing for these kids on the Division I level because there could be a lot of schools that just don't know about them outside of the state. And while being great is one thing, we've too often had specific examples in this area of East Texas where kids just weren't prepared for the clearinghouse or certain grade things or certain orders of business, and they've had to sit out, in fact, miss a year. And no matter what you think or say, that puts you at a huge disadvantage because they don't plan on you missing that year, and other guys come in, and it's a tough thing. It's an uphill battle after that. Sure. Now, as far as athletic evaluation, what's Randy going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow, all we're doing is height and weight, and that's it. And it's not a knock. He just wants to, when he's listing guys and sending out scouting reports to colleges and scouting services, he just wants a true height and weight for right now. And that's the only thing that we're doing. The other thing, he's taken a very detailed information sheet from them, and he's going to personally evaluate and watch every single kid's highlight film that comes here tomorrow. Okay. Now, how many years have you done this? This will be the sixth year. Sixth year, okay. And how many kids did you have coming to this thing last year? Last year, I believe we had 77. Wow. But the thing, in the year 4, maybe 80. It's been up. It just depends on what day there's an SAT test or baseball tournament or whatever. But I'll tell you, a lot of these kids have gotten national recognition, like the Dylan Cantrells and the Dalton Santos and the Kendall Sanders and these guys that have skyrocketed up these recruiting boards, really due to Randy Rogers' evaluation, the fact that he catapulted them up to these scouting services. And kids like Cade Clayton, that's at a smaller school, getting national recognition due to these evaluations that he otherwise wouldn't have gotten if not the connection. And we really try hard to get him down here because these guys usually go to Dallas and Houston and then Lubbock, and then they're done. It's West Texas, North Texas, and then over, and then that's kind of it. So we're bringing this here for the people of Tyler and in East Texas, and we want them to take advantage of it. And once again, we remind people this is free of charge. It doesn't cost you anything to come. No, it's free, and I just hate for a kid to be on the other end of this thing and say, hey man, I really kind of feel like I got messed around in recruiting, and when in reality, they just didn't take care of the business, and we want to give them the opportunity to do that and really learn what the facts are, not just you don't just play really well and get a scholarship. There's so many more things involved in it, and they need to know the rules of what these coaches have and what they can do, what their part is.
I have to ask you, because I got this very message yesterday, because we've seen several kids being invited to junior days right now, and somebody contacted me and said, I want my son to get invited to one of those, and who does the inviting? And I said, well, I think it's the recruiting coordinator at the university that makes the invitations to these kids. How does a kid get invited to one of these junior days?
And that's going to be a topic of discussion here, but I'll tell you, to get invited to a junior day, number one, you usually have to have an outstanding sophomore year, so you're even on the radar for them to watch you your junior year.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, if you have a great junior season, these recruiting coordinators are in touch with people like Randy Rogers or people that are in charge of evaluating talent, and whether you know it or not, they're at the games. There's several in East Texas that represent Scout and Rivals and Dave Campbell's and all these things. So once they hear about a kid, they want to have him up on a junior day to say, okay, is he listed at 6 foot and he's really 5'9", or, then are his grades terrible? Can we recruit him? Can we not? I mean, so it's really an investigation from their end through whatever means necessary, and that's how they get their junior day list. I mean, that is their very broad list of kids that they want to further evaluate. And so if you're not being invited to those, there's a good chance that your channels of communication to these sources are either not great, or if you haven't been evaluated, that they don't feel at this time that you're at that level. And there's ways to convince them otherwise, and there's ways to combat that, as you know. But you can't just ask to go on a junior day, and that's one of the things that these kids need to know.
Yeah, I was trying to explain to him. He says, well, how do we get invited to that? And I said, well, I don't know that you can just call up a coach at this point and say, hey, I want to be invited to a junior day. They've got to have some initial interest in you in the first place.
Absolutely. I mean, and we're in a fortunate position here that we've had so many successful kids that, we'll get contacted by coaches here and there, and even coaches come by here at our facility, and I've got a good relationship with a lot of them, just as several coaches that coach high school here do. And we're able to, give them information about kids that they might otherwise know, and every once in a while that leads to them getting some invites and further evaluations. Now, as you know, I don't have I don't have any scholarships in my pockets, but if I can give them some information that they might not otherwise know, that might put them on a trail of a kid that really deserves an opportunity.
Okay, so once again now, give us the specifics for tomorrow's seminar. It's
9:30 in the morning at APEC. It's going to be 9:30 to noon. It is free. Be ready to take a picture and bring your parents. This is going to be a beginning to end, detail-oriented program for the recruiting process and how to maximize your exposure.
Okay, and tell them where you're located, Bobby.
We're right here on Copeland Road, across from Dr. Smith's dentist office, in between Shiloh and Reek.
Okay, and again, it's free of charge, so that it doesn't cost you a dime, and you can get a lot of questions answered when you go out there tomorrow.
Yes, sir. On the website, they can pre-register if they want to. It's apecgo.com. Go there. You can pre-register. That way, when you get here, instead of filling out all the paperwork, you can go ahead and get to talking and getting information.
Outstanding. Bobby, thanks very much for coming on with us. Best of luck with the seminar tomorrow, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks, and God bless you guys.
You bet. Bobby Stroupe from APEC, and he's going to be holding the recruiting seminar tomorrow with Randy Rogers. This is Bryan, Houston Sports Radio Live on 99.3 Talk FM.